In this video, we're going to go over the difference between WordPress plugins and widgets. I know a lot of beginners get confused on the difference between the two, so we're going to go over the meaning and the function of both. So as you can see here, we're going to start with widgets. I think this will be a great place to start to make things very clear as to the difference between the two. So to get to your widgets page, you go to the left-hand side main menu of your WordPress dashboard and you select Appearance and then you select Widgets, and that will bring you to this page right here. So as you can see, this page is basically split down the middle, where on the left-hand side you have all of your available widgets. So this houses the WordPress default widgets, meaning the widgets that just come with your WordPress installation, as well as any default widgets that are connected to the theme you're using. You'll find those here as well. We'll go over those more in a second. And on the right hand side here is where you will see your widgets actually show up on your site. So as you can see here, I'm going to close this just so that it's clear as to what's going on here. If you see in this area here, the widgets only affect your sidebar and your footer area. So that's one of the biggest defining things that makes widgets different from plugins. Widgets only affect your sidebar and your footer area. And in order to put a widget inside of either one of these, you simply click the down arrow to open it up, and you'll see that there are already 4 widgets here in the sidebar area. Or you can click the down arrow in any of these footer areas as well. You can also drag and drop. So I can change these, and let's say I want these in my footer instead of my sidebar. I can do that. Or I can just put all of these back and keep them all in my sidebar. And that little thing there is showing you that it's working and it is saving as soon as you do it. So you don't have to click save or anything like that. Okay, so I'm also going to scroll down here and show you the bottom half, which is the inactive widgets. So inactive widgets are basically widgets that you may want to take out of your sidebar or footer area, but you want to save them. So for instance, let's say you've opened this up, because each widget has this section here where you can either add a title or configure any of the other options they have available for that widget. Okay, and you always just want to select the down arrow on each widget in order to do that. So let's say you've already given it a title. Let's say you've chosen a number of posts that you want. Let's say you've already selected this, and maybe you don't want to change or lose these settings you have for this here. So what you would do is just drag this all the way down until you get to the inactive widgets, and you would just place it there. That way it'll stay here. It will save the settings you put. See that setting that I changed there, and this here, and if I had added a title here, it will save those changes, but it takes it out of your sidebar or your footer so that it's no longer visible, but you can save it for later use if you want. Okay, otherwise you can just delete. If you don't care about saving it, you can just delete it just to remove it from your sidebar or your footer area. I'm going to go ahead and put this back up to where it was. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is show you where your sidebar actually is on your site. So we're going to go to, this is a test site that I've created just for the purposes of tutorials. So this is an example blog page with a couple of blog posts on it and a sidebar. So this is where your sidebar would be, either on a blog page that you have that houses all of your blog posts, or if you've chosen to house your blog on your home page, that's where you'll see it as well. You'll see your blog posts as well as your sidebar on your home page as well. But in this example, I have my blog post on my blog page. So this is where your sidebar will show up, and every one of the widgets that I've added to the sidebar area on the back end show up here on the sidebar. They will also show up inside of each blog post. So here's the blog post, and then here is the sidebar here. That's the blog post image and the blog post content, and then the comments. And then you'll see the sidebar here. Now, let's talk about the footer. As you can see, there's nothing in the footer area here. And if I go to the bottom of any page of my site, you'll just see the Elegant Themes default footer. This is not the actual footer area where widgets go. So let me show you what that would look like if I were to add any widgets to the footer area. So I'm just going to add a calendar. And also what you should know about this footer area is that each one of these areas is a column. So they're next to each other. So you definitely, if you're going to put something in one, you want to put something in all of them just so that it looks evened out and not uneven on your site. Okay. So let's say I put archives. Let's say I also put pages, and let's say I put, I don't know, anything else. Oh, let's say I do the ET about me. Let's also discuss the ET about me. So any widget you see here that has an ET in front of it, ET stands for Elegant Themes. So this means that these are Elegant Themes default widgets, which means if I use any theme from Elegant Themes, these widgets will be here. If I wasn't using Elegant Themes, I would not see these widgets here. Okay, so I'm using the Divi theme from Elegant Themes, but no matter what theme I was using from Elegant Themes, I would see these. Okay, and the same goes for you with any theme that you're using. You would definitely see if that theme comes with default widgets, you would see those in this area as well. Okay, and we can also add even more widgets to this area, but we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so let's go and look at our footer area now since we've added those. So I'm going to refresh this blog page, this blog post, and you'll see now that I have the footer area. And each one of those things shows up in my footer area. Now there's nothing here in the About Me because I didn't put anything there. But let's say we put something there. So I'm going to open it up. And so for this image area, all you have to do is put the URL of the image that you want. So I'm going to go to my media library and I'm just going to open it in a new link so that I can keep this page open. And I'm just going to select an image of myself from the media library. I'm going to click on the image and then you'll see the URL to the right hand side of any image inside of your media library. So I'm just going to copy that and I'm going to go back over to the widgets page and then I'm going to paste it and there's my image. Okay, and then I'm just going to say example about me paragraph. Of course you will write however much information you want there, and then I'm going to select save, and then let's go back to this blog post and there you go. There's a picture of me. It comes up as a thumbnail. And then there's your paragraph, and you can make it as long or as short as you want. Okay, so this is my footer. And also I want to tell you about the footer that this shows up on every single page of your site. So not just on this blog post here, but even if I go to my home page, I will now see this footer. If I go to my about page, I will now see this footer, right? So it's important to make sure you put valuable things in your footer that will help your visitors take action with you, get the information that they need, important things. you want to put in your footer. So you want to make sure you think about that and put very valuable and important things in your footer because they will show up on every single page of your site. Okay, so let's go back to our widgets page here. And let's say I decided I want to put these things in my sidebar. Again, I can move them, and I just want to show you how different it'll look to have more things in your sidebar and to again remove that footer area because you don't have to have that footer area. So I'm going to refresh so you'll see that it removes itself from my about page. The footer area is now blank. And then I'm going to go back to my blog where the sidebar is, and then you'll see those same things that were in the footer now displayed in the sidebar. You can choose whatever order you want them to be in just by dragging or dropping. You know, I can move things around. Let's say I wanted the about me to be at the top. I can do that and it automatically saves. I would just have to refresh and I can see the about me at the top. You see that? So these are widgets. They only affect the sidebar and the footer of your website, okay? Now let's move on to plugins. So again, from the left-hand main menu on the left-hand side of your WordPress dashboard, you're going to select plugins. And this is going to take you to all of your installed plugins. So plugins add additional functionality to your site way beyond just the sidebar and the footer. They add functionality that can be seen on your site by visitors or functionality on the back end that helps your site that no one else sees but you or that no one else sees at all. So um, let's go over a few examples of different functions of plugins just so you can get a general idea of all of the different kinds of things that plugins can do. Because of course I can't go over, there are thousands and thousands of plugins. So I can't go over the function of every single one, of course, but I'm just going to go over a few just so you can get an idea of the vast ability that plugins have. Okay, so Akismet. Akismet is a plugin that blocks spam from your comments. So if you're blogging and you have readers who are leaving comments, you don't want spam, right, in the comment section. You don't want spam. So this plugin helps to block spam bots and other spamming people from commenting on your blog posts. Okay, the all-in-one SEO pack. This plugin actually supercharges your website's search engine optimization. That is what SEO stands for. So with this plugin, you can put general SEO, keywords, and description on your site here in the home page settings. So what your website is about, the title, the description, and the keywords. You can put those here. The other main thing that this plugin does is it adds additional SEO functions to each blog post you have. So you see here SEO title, SEO description, SEO keywords, SEO description, sorry, and SEO keywords. So it gives every single blog post you create and every single page the same thing. So I'm going to click on all pages here and you'll see SEO title, SEO description, SEO keywords, right? So any page you create, any post you create, you can add SEO title, description, and keywords. You will scroll down past the main content until you see all-in-one SEO pack, and that is where you'll be able to add the title, the description, and the, of course, very important keywords onto every single page and every single post of your site. This really helps to supercharge your SEO functions of your website. So that's a back-end function that cannot be seen. the same thing as Akismet. You can't even see what's going on, but they are blocking stuff. Okay, so again, these are back-end functions that certain plugins provide. Another back-end function, backup WordPress. You can create backups of your site, which is really important for the security and functionality of your site, to always have a recent backup of your site. So you can create backups with this plugin of your site. Easy Google fonts. This is a front end function because this adds additional fonts to your site so that when you're designing your site and adding your personality to your site, you can add additional fonts to the pages and posts of your site. Okay, so that's what this plugin does. Elegant Themes Updater. This is just a plugin that comes with a theme that helps me to update my theme easily from my dashboard. Okay, another backend function that no one would really see. Google Analyticator. This brings the Google Analytics into the back end of my site. So for instance, if I were to go to my dashboard, the home of my dashboard, I can see my Google Analytics summary here, right here in the dashboard of my site. Okay, so I don't have to go to google.com/analytics and log in and see it there. I can just come into the back end of my site, which I'm going to do anyway if I'm blogging regularly or creating new content on my site. Then I can just see as soon as I log in on my dashboard my Google Analytics. This is a test site that I've created, so it doesn't get a lot of traffic, obviously, but it's here for any site that you use. Okay, so back to my plugins. Hopefully you're understanding the vast majority of functionality that plugins can add to your site, front end and back end. Google XML Sitemaps. This just helps Google to index your site. So this is another supercharging your site for the Google search engines, so that your site can get found. This is a backend function as well. Pop-up Ally. This is a plugin that will help you create a pop-up opt-in form for your freebie so that you can build your list. So that's a front-end function where your visitors will actually see what you create with this plugin. This Sidekick plugin, this is a plugin that really helps you learn your WordPress site. So it's walkthroughs. It's not even tutorials. It's actually interactive live walkthroughs that really just help you get to know and learn your WordPress site. Okay, and then we have WP Edit. This is a plugin that adds different functions to the content area of your site. So for instance, if you're blogging regularly, let me just open up one of these example blog posts and you'll see here this menu of different options that you have while you're blogging. You can add new things to this area to help you enhance your blogging experience, or even if you're creating pages, the same thing will show up here in the pages section if you open up a page, right? So for instance, I added this font family and font size to this area so that I can highlight something and make it a certain size or font or whatever it is. Okay, so that's what the WP Edit does. So that's just a brief overview of what many different plugins can do. They can add so many different things to your site on the back end and the front end to really help supercharge it. Okay, and one last thing I want to show you and then we're done. Here's where things can get confusing. Plugins also can add widget functionality. If you want to add more widgets to your sidebar or footer that don't already come with the WordPress default or your theme default widgets, you can do that with plugins. So for instance, I'm going to add the social media widget. And another thing I want to mention is WordPress has thousands and thousands of plugins. Oh, this is my installed plugin, so I won't be able to search it there. But if you just go to add new, so if you go to plugins and add new, or you can just click it from up here, you'll see these are WordPress's featured free plugins. These are all of their featured plugins, right? But you can also search plugins. If you know the name of a specific plugin that will do something specific on your site, you can just search them. So the social media widget, I'm going to hit enter here and search. And then this is the widget here. So I'm going to click install now, right? And then I'm going to activate the plugin. And then when I go to now, my widget area, now in the available widgets, I will see the social media widget, which was not here until I installed that plugin. So I think that's where sometimes people get confused, that sometimes widgets are plugins and plugins are widgets and all of that. But that's why, because plugins are so powerful that not only can they add all of the other functions that I mentioned previously, as well as many other functions that I haven't even mentioned, they also can add additional widgets to your site to enhance your sidebar or your footer as well. So I could go ahead and select this. Let's say I want this to go up at the top somewhere. And let's say I want to show, I'm going to scroll past all of that stuff. You can do that on your own time if you choose to use this this widget, this plugin, which is a widget. But I'm just going to put my Facebook because this is what you can use this for, right? And my Twitter, just so you can see what it looks like. So, and then I'm just gonna hit save at the bottom here because you can go through all of these different ones and add whatever it is that you want in this area. And then I'm gonna click save. And so now it's added what I have. So let's now go back to our blog post because that's where our sidebar is. And I'm going to refresh this screen. And now you can see it has added your social media, and you can add as many of your social media links as you want. But now people can easily click and get to my Facebook or my Twitter. So hopefully you learned a lot and you understand the difference between widgets and plugins, and also have found some useful plugins that you may want to use that could help you, as well as learning how to even install a new plugin and even add even more widgets to your sidebar, more than what the WordPress or your theme come with. Okay? So hopefully you enjoyed.